Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gold Silver News. My name is Christian Garcia. Today is Wednesday, October 18th. There were a few things that happened yesterday in the news, but I'd like to focus on today specifically on the CFTC final rulings on the Dodd-Frank Act. And let me fill you in with some background information. For years, there have been rumors circulating that JP Morgan Chase, along with several other bankers and traders, had accumulated large position limits to go ahead and be able to manipulate the price of gold and silver. Now, one of their inside traders, or an inside man, so to speak, by the name of Andrew Maguire, became a whistleblower. First, he notified the SEC what was going on. They pretty much brushed it aside, and Andrew Maguire then went ahead and notified GATA what was going on, and they went ahead and made public the information and what was going on. And finally, SEC and the government took the allegations seriously. Well, the CFTC, or the Commodities Futures Trade Commission, decided to go ahead and finally take some action and go ahead and rule on position limits and come out with some decisions. The Dodd-Frank Act came out in 2010. These limits were supposed to go ahead and be in place in the beginning of the year. Then they pushed it back to July 16th, 2011, and now here we are, October 18th, finally, with some rulings. So let's go ahead and look at seeing what this is all about, okay? So what was the goal of the CFTC's final rulemaking? The final rulemaking establishes limits on speculative positions in 28 physical commodity futures contracts traded pursuant to the rules of a designated contract market, as well as swaps that are economically equivalent to those contracts as mandated by the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act of 2010. The final rulemaking on position limits will enable the Commission to meet its statutory responsibility to set such limits in order to prevent excessive speculation and manipulation while ensuring sufficient market liquidity for bona fide hedgers and protecting the price discovery process. And which commodities are covered by the final regulations? Well, 28 physical commodity future contracts are covered. Specifically, the ones that we focus and care about are the COMEX gold and COMEX silver prices and commodities or currencies. So how will the speculative limits be set? Well, according to the CFTC's website, the spot month position limits for reference contracts will be set at 25% of estimated physical deliverable supply. And for the non-spot month position limits, these limits will be set at 10% of open interest in the first 25,000 contracts and 2.5% thereafter. Now let's look at how many market participants will be affected by the final regulations. Specifically, let's focus and look at the metals section or industry. Only 12 traders in the metals industry are expected to be affected by these position limits. And if you look at the other sectors like agriculture, energy, and the non-legacy agricultural, you'll see that those sectors, you have 85, 84, and 50 different traders being affected, but in the metals market, only 12. That's a very small amount of people that have control over this market, and that control is going to end shortly, and that's a good thing for precious metals, so that's great news. Now let's look at the COT report, so the Commitment of Traders report. You can clearly see for both silver and gold, there's the entities you can clearly see that are short and long on their positions, and these CFTC final rulemakings will go ahead and require these entities to reduce them from where they're at. You could see some as high as 48 to some that are just barely over 25%, but either way these limits will have to be reduced. And again, when this finally does occur, then you're going to definitely see precious metals skyrocket. So what's the final takeaway from all these rules from the CFTC final rulemaking? Basically, think about this. I explained in a couple videos ago, or I let you guys know, that September was one of our biggest months here in the history of the company. And interestingly enough, if you go to the US Mint website and you look up bullion sales for September, and you look at the year 2011, you'll see that September of 2011 was actually the US Mint's second biggest month in the history of them selling American Eagles, dating back since 1986. So we know, you could clearly see that there is price manipulation being done. Again, price discovery is supposed to be an equilibrium between supply and demand. And clearly, the demand is big because if the U.S. Mint had its second biggest month, we had our biggest month, then the physical supply is being drained. Now, the CFTC final rules don't really go into effect until 60 days after the Dodd-Frank Act clearly defines what a swap is. And the CFTC has also asked for extensions until July 16, 2012. So that gives it about 9 months or so before some of these rules take place. And you're going to see volatility from here to then. Obviously, all these all these traders with these major positions have to reduce it to go ahead and abide by the law. So you're going to see volatility. Not sure exactly what's going to happen, whether prices are going to go up and then fall back, or if they're going to fall back now down from where they're at. It doesn't matter. Like Mike Maloney says, these price pullbacks are gifts. So continue accumulating, continue buying, stay the course, stay focused, continue accumulating. And like the Rolling Stones say, time is on our side. Let it take a year, 2 years. We know the dollar is going to collapse or be revalued, and all we're waiting for is for the revaluation of gold and silver, and that time is slowly approaching. So go ahead and go to the CFTC's website, check out the read in detail the final rulemakings, and also feel free to visit the U.S. Mint's website to verify the sales that have been generated. Again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the news. Let us know you like it, and thank you for watching. Bye.